G'day everyone, I'm AzureBlaze, and welcome to another First Impressions video, and this time it is on a game that I've been quite looking forward to, Halo Campaign Evolved. Most people probably know who watch this channel at this point. Combat Evolved is my favourite game ever, period. Therefore, I was cautiously optimistic for Campaign Evolved, and I have now played the Pillar of Autumn, the first mission from campaign, the remake of the campaign. I played a little bit through Halo, the second mission, because I simply felt like I had to. I couldn't make this video about it. And then I played mostly, I hope mostly, through one of the missions for the bonus missions, because I wanted to play one of them for the video as well. I'll get to why I haven't finished that yet in a second. However, I was very excited for this. Cautious about it, because a lot of the things I was seeing kind of went against what I personally would have wanted of a remake from the first, my favourite game. Therefore, yeah, I've talked about that a lot on the channel, therefore I won't probably go too much, I guess, into the negatives that I've seen before. However, I will expand on some things, I guess, because I am enjoying it. I'm enjoying it. Don't get me wrong, I'm enjoying it more than, something like Halo 5, to be completely honest with you. And then, when it comes to Halo Infinite, every time I play Halo Infinite's campaign, I like it a little less. I do like it, however, I like it a little less. I'm probably enjoying it more than that. And that comes down to the fact that, it's Combat Evolved again. I like that well enough as it is. Yeah, I am enjoying it well enough. However, I have a fair few problems, and it's not going to all be it's not like the original. There is a few things that I will probably go over that will be like that. However, it's not all going to be like that. There is some, in my opinion, some pacing problems, and there is some problems with the gameplay itself. And it may be because of its transition over to the Unreal Engine. However, I'm not 100% sure. Before I get into it, I'll start off, I suppose. The menus, perfect. They're not necessarily perfect. It's not exactly like a remake of the original menus. Those will always be my favorite. However, when it comes to menus in modern day games, because I can't stand 98% of them, I really like these. They're really good. Yeah, not quite like the original, however, they are really good. I do like that the title screen is back to how it should be, very nice, and then the loading screen is perfection. I'm very glad they kept that, and I hope that they sort of build off that going forward. I suppose going straight into the campaign, the new cinematics, they are gorgeous. Don't get me wrong, the cinematics, and then the graphics in general in this game, they're fantastic. I may have some problems with the style, which I'll get into. However, the graphics, absolutely fantastic. This game looks amazing, especially with the cutscenes. However, yeah, straight into it though. The cutscenes themselves, despite how good they look, I feel like they have some awkward cuts and some awkward pacing issues. There's a lot of times where, especially in the first cutscene, where Captain Keyes will literally go silent and walk to a place for 5 to 6 seconds flat, and then talk, and then it will pan over, and there's a lot of awkward things like that. Things where this, for some reason, they specifically really don't want to show Chief until he's on the bridge in this game. I guess they wanted to make it a big reveal. However, I personally liked how you could see him hopping out of the cryopod. However, yeah, because they didn't want to they wanted to get past a certain part. The part where he shakes hands with Keyes is done in a first person mode, and you can't even see his hand. That's really strange. You don't know what Keyes is doing. It's he's putting his hand out and moving it up and down. It's really strange. Things like that. Yeah, the cutscenes, from what I've seen thus far, have some strange pacing issues. They can be a little bit slow in some parts, a little bit faster in other parts. And then there's some awkward bits like that. And then yeah, as I said, there's some cuts. There's some really random cuts that cut to this, cut to that, and it's why did you cut there? There was no need to cut there. It's a little bit strange. Overall, though, I'm not going to say they're an improvement. I do like them as a different look at them, and then some of the added context and stuff in the cutscenes from what I've seen thus far, that is fairly appreciated, to be honest. I do like that. Yeah, no, otherwise, I think the other thing to talk about is the voices. I mean, obviously, like, a lot of the cast have gotten older, they're redoing their lines, some casts have changed and things like that. I'm not the biggest fan of Keys' voice. I preferred his more, he sounds a little bit too old now, I think is probably the problem that I have with him, personally. It sounds like, it doesn't sound like this, like, commanding, like, captain. It sounds like some old guy talking to Chief, to be honest to me. It's a little bit strange. Chief's lines are a lot, not necessarily a higher pitch, however, they're a little bit livelier, a little bit less robotic, I think, and it's not necessarily a bad thing, it is different. I'm not sure whether I prefer it that way, and we'll get to more into Chief talking later, because it's a little bit strange. Same with Cortana, she, like, does things. There's a lot of times where, like, I feel like the direction of the voice is done differently to... I mean, I don't know whether it's because it's different from the original that I'm not necessarily as much of a fan of it. However, to me it feels like, at least, the directing for the voices... I mean, it's been done differently. That's nothing different. However, like, it doesn't... like, personally, I don't feel some of the voice acting doesn't fit as well as it could have. Overall, though, I think it's good. Despite that, as I said, I'm not as much of a fan of it as the original. I think the voice, like, work in the original game, while cheesy in some areas, like, it's iconic for one. And I don't know, I think some of it ages fairly okay. There are some parts that don't. However, yeah, I don't know. It's either though. It's fine. Yeah, as I said though, like, the graphics are fantastic, they look amazing, other than the pacing issues, which is a little bit strange. As for the gameplay though, sort of getting straight into it, I guess, I mean, the Pillar of Autumn looks good. There is some art style differences, a little bit. It's nowhere near as, like, horrendous as Anniversary, and I think the Pillar of Autumn overall does look really good. To be honest, I will give it a thumbs up. And then, like, the Covenant look pretty good as well and things like that. Overall, quite happy with the visuals. As for the gameplay, though, I like it well enough, to be honest. I mean, I straight away turned off hit markers and... Oh, what was the other thing I turned off? I can't think of it right now. Hit markers... Oh, and I put the sensor back in the bottom left-hand corner. That was something I was complaining about a lot, was the fact that the sensor was in the wrong spot. It's in the right spot for me. I like that and I enjoy that. It's good. However, like, there is some funny things with the gameplay. Like, I think overall it feels a little bit sluggish, and I don't know whether that's because, like, I play the original all the time. Like, I play the original a lot. And then going back and going into this one, it feels a little bit slower. Some of the weapon firing and all that sort of thing. It feels like I have to do a lot of, like, I don't know, I have to wait a lot longer for things to happen. There's specific parts I can think of with, like, the Magnum and its reloading and stuff like that, and yeah, I don't know. It feels a little bit sluggish. Like, there's yeah, the Magnum reload I find to be a little bit, like, sometimes when after you reload it, it takes a little bit to start firing again, which I'm used to it sort of being, like, straight snappy, like, go. However, yeah, after it reloads, it takes a little bit, to be honest, I think. And then there's some other things as well where I don't know whether these, I'm assuming it's getting into glitches. I have a little bit of glitches, to be honest. Where, like, the needle rifle in particular in the missions, the 3 missions, sometimes it simply doesn't want to fire for, like, a second or two after I've reloaded. Sometimes it works fine, sometimes it doesn't want to. I don't know why. That really frustrated me, and it caused a lot of, like, KOs from me. It simply did, and it was really frustrating. And then another issue I have is with reloading in general. In older Halo games, pretty much every Halo game, I think, other than this one now, basically everything takes precedence over reloading. Say if you're reloading in the middle of it and you want to throw a grenade, it will throw the grenade and then start the reload animation again, and or you have to reload again. Same with firing. If you're reloading, say, something that uses, like, 1 bit ammo, like you're putting ammo in one at a time or something like that, like, that seems to work fine. Have like like when it comes to like being able to like throw a grenade or melee or something like that, you have to wait for the animation to finish before it works, and that is really frustrating. Like that is something I am very used to in Halo, is being able to simply like in the middle of reload throw something or something like that, or in the middle of reload switch weapon and fire. Like yeah, the fact that you have to wait for the animation, and I don't know whether this is an Unreal Engine thing or like something, an oversight or whatever, that is something I use a lot. However, in this, I kept going to do it, and it wasn't working, and I got stuck there reloading and running away from enemies, and nothing would happen. Like, it was really frustrating, to be honest with you. They're the negatives, I suppose. There is more negatives to the gameplay, actually. Aim down sights, I think it kind of makes some weapons a little bit more overpowered than they should be, personally. The AR, like, or the plasma rifle specifically, having aim down sights, being able to like destroy the shields of an enemy from like across like the room, or in the case of playing on Halo, like across the land and stuff like that. I don't know if that works as well. Like personally, I like, so one of the big things, I've talked about this before, and I'm not going to make this entire video about negativity, however I do want to get this out of the way first. One of the big things I've talked about in CE, and the reason I like it as much as I do, is because despite the fact that there's a limited amount of weapons, there's not many, every single one of them feels like it has a purpose. And in my opinion, the balancing for weapons is the best in Combat Evolved, personally. And then like, because you have the Magnum, which is the precision weapon, and then the AR, which is good for like quick firing and stuff like that. The plasma rifle, which drains shields. The pistol, which, I mean, if you charge it up, it drains shields as well. However, is a good offsider. The things like that. Everything feels like it has a purpose. And in this, I mean, they've added the SMG, and I'm assuming other weapons, which will be later in the campaign. And then there's a whole lot of weapons in the bonus missions. However, like, yeah, they've added like that sort of thing, and like I feel like the SMG and the AR are a little bit similar, and everything has aim down sights. Therefore, like, range isn't really much of an issue, which I think downplays the Magnum. Not to mention the Magnum's already less effective than it was in Combat Evolved in general, what it feels like at least. Therefore, yeah, I don't know. It's things like that where I feel like a big part of the original was that, and then when you're remaking it, I personally would have felt like that it would have stayed a bit better. Have like, I understand they wanted to add new things and stuff like that, and I'm not like mad that they did it. Simply a little bit like, to be honest, like, I'm not upset completely. There was some things that frustrated me, yes. However, like, these things are like, I mean, I'm gonna simply go back and play the original if I want to play Combat Evolved. Like, that's how I am. Therefore, it doesn't really upset me that they've added things and changed things. However, like, I feel like, to me at least, when making a remake, even if you want to add things, like, don't get me wrong, I do like that they add things sometimes. However, like, I feel like keeping the spirit of the original and keeping like the basis is important, and in some instances I feel like they've gone a little bit too far from what I've played already. Yeah, no, I am enjoying it. I do need to preface it and say I am really enjoying it, because it's in first Halo game in years, and it is new. Like, the changes and stuff does make it feel new. I simply don't think it feels as good as the original. That's probably where I was getting at. Yeah, gameplay-wise, though, it does feel like Halo. Despite the shift over to Unreal Engine, it does overall feel like Halo. As I said, it does feel a little bit sluggish. Sprinting, not the biggest fan of, personally, and the fact that it does look like they've sort of scaled up the areas for sprinting to work, at least by what I can sort of feel from playing it. Yeah, no. However, yeah, talking about the bonus missions, I suppose, I did play through a fair bit of the first one, and the reason I simply didn't get through it is because it was taking forever, and I needed to record. Like, it was taking ages, and to be honest, if all the bonus missions are like this first one, I don't know how much I'm going to enjoy them compared to, like, other Halo experiences. I'm enjoying my time playing it. It's Halo. I like playing Halo. However, there's a lot of stand in a room, wave after wave after wave of enemy, take them all out, move to another room, stand in that room, wave after wave after wave of enemy. And like that is the general gameplay loop of Halo. How like in this case it's simply wave after wave. It almost feels like firefight. Like that's what it is. Like to me, it's there's a lot. It actually what it mostly feels like is Spartan Ops from Halo 4. That's what it kind of feels like. Even down to the fact that the Halo 4 elites are here, which I think is hilarious. I do think the story is intriguing. I am very excited to keep following that because new lore in general I am excited for, and the Prophet of Harmony is neat. However, I mean, he's not a good guy. I mean, he's pretty neat. Something I do have a bit of, I don't know whether it's an issue or it simply feels strange. Chief talks a lot in the bonus missions. Like, well, at least in this first one, he talks a lot. Like, he and Johnson are bantering constantly throughout the mission and stuff like that, and it feels strange more than anything. There's a lot of things where like it's fine. However, like I feel like they probably overdid a little bit. There's a lot of things where Johnson spoke, and then I'm like, Chief did not have to respond to that. Like he did anyway. However, he simply didn't have to. Yeah, there's things like that where like it doesn't really feel like it feels more like Fred, to be honest. It's how Fred sort of talks to people. Yeah. I mean, otherwise though, like I'm excited to see the story and stuff like that. My biggest problem with the missions, at least this first mission, is the checkpoints are way too strict. I feel like there's like moments where like I will like finally defeat all these waves, and I'll be walking down a hallway for a solid 30 seconds, and then walk into an next room where I have to start going against waves again, and I'll get to like the second wave, I will get defeated, and then I go back before the hallway before I finish the waves in the other room. And I'm like, I've walked down the hallway for 30 seconds. Why was there no checkpoint? Things like that. It's like, I already completed that part of the challenge. Why am I doing it again? When I failed on this next challenge. And this next challenge is where I should be. That sort of thing, that drives me nuts. Especially when I don't have the most time to play games as much as I used to. Like, when that sort of thing happens, that drives me up a wall, because like it feels redundant. It feels like you're being forced back to a point simply to pad it out more than anything. Like I spent over an hour on the mission and I haven't finished it yet because I was playing on heroic and it was the first time I'm playing it. Therefore, yeah, it's a little bit more like I need to get used to it, I suppose. Have like learn the layout and everything. Have like I don't know, that frustrated me a lot, and that's why I didn't finish it. Yeah, they're my frustrations, and to be honest, my positives aren't going to be as long-winded. There's not going to be as much, because, like, generally, to me, when a game has positives, you don't notice it as much. That's how I sort of see things. Therefore, it's always easier to talk about the negatives, because they're noticeable. However, on the positive sides, as I said, overall, it is a Halo game. The Halo gameplay is fairly good. The BR in the main mission, in the new missions, probably my favorite BR to use, to be honest. Like, the review, I simply really like how it works. And how it feels to use. However, like, and then the beam rifle and everything like that, I really like how the beam rifle works as well. Yeah, I don't know. I'm, again, to be honest, it's about what I expected. I think that's probably the best way to put it. I did not have high expectations. To be honest, I had fairly low expectations, and this does go above those low expectations. This is probably, like, in between. Which is, I mean, that's good, I guess. I don't know. I am enjoying it, and I will definitely be playing this game for years to come, like I do every Halo game. Like, I like Halo 5. I like all Halo games. I like this game. I simply think a lot of its spirit has been lost in the way the gameplay is. Not necessarily all of it. I do think some of the physics have been carried over, however, some of the other physics have not. Yeah, and I don't know, like... to be honest, I do think it is a good starting off point for people these days if they don't want to go back and play the original, because the original has aged, and I will agree with that and all that sort of thing. I do recommend it. However, I will say that it is not quite the remake that, even though my expectations were fairly low, that I was sort of hoping for on the side, to be honest. Yeah, from at least from what I've played, I'd need to get through it first, to be honest, to make my final judgment. However, like, as I said, I am enjoying it. I will continue to enjoy it all the way through. I simply... Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what else to say, to be honest with you. Yeah, my thoughts are a little bit mixed, to be honest. However, I hope everybody enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching, and I shall be back in the next one. Cheers, everyone.